Okay, so customer states that the vacuum they had in the pool had stopped running. They not really a pool guy, I'm a guy that knows how to fix things. So they're telling me that this stopped running and they think that this needs to be fixed. I actually do not think that this needs to be fixed. There's several reasons why this could have stopped running, and we're gonna go look at one of them right now. And again, I said I'm not a pool guy, but if you know basic understandings of how water flows, and you know, I'd say it was last April that I actually started getting into some fixing pool stuff, and I got to know more and more as I went along. So I'm slowly becoming a pool guy, but I'm just a guy that knows how to fix things, so people rely on me to do this. So to understand what this vacuum is, it's a Polaris vacuum. It's kind of self-propelled. It's not, there is no plug-in. You don't plug it in per se. Well, let me show you where you hook it. So right here where the basket is, when you pull that basket up right here, and it's been cold today, so this water's really cold, there's a hole in there, and that's where the hose, that's where we're going to plug it into, right? So first, let's see if we can't find out why the vacuum has stopped working. The vacuum is just, once you put that vacuum into the pool, it becomes part of your filtration system. So we know that, right? So let's go take a look. Now this is a filtration system. This is a water pump right here. So you got all these different pipes, and this may seem overwhelming to some of you, but it shouldn't be. So the very first thing that we're going to want to do is figure out what's going on and why that pump stopped working. So if we understand that the pump, the vacuum is actually picking up debris and dirt and everything off the bottom of the pool, sending it to this system, then, you know, if this system gets clogged up in any type of way, then that's going to cause the vacuum to malfunction. The first thing we're going to want to do is cut the power off. So if you notice, we cut it off and then water came right out from underneath that thing there, which that's yeah, I don't know how reliable that's a filter housing, by the way. Just so you understand, that's a filter housing. Before you work on anything like this out here, you're definitely going to want to cut the power off. This is a water pump, okay? So this is your pump. It also has a basket in there. Could be clogged up, but my guess would be it's not the vacuum having an issue. It's that filter right there has to be extremely dirty. So let's take a look. So in order to take the filter off, this has to come off, right? So this is our top. You have an air bleed valve up there. You have a bolt here, and back here you have a drain plug right at the bottom. So that's got to be undone. Before we take that top off, what we're going to want to do is pull that plug, drain that water out, and we're going to want to open up that valve to let some air out. Now if you listen, the air is coming out of the top there because I've opened up the valve. I've opened up that down there, so the water's coming out. I'm going to let some of that go out first, and then I'm going to pop that off and then remove this filter to see if it's possibly dirty and causing the pool vacuum not to work properly, which that's my guess. So I've got the top off. So in order to pull this out, because that's your filter, and you can see it is quite dirty, so yeah, this is going to be the cause of the pump not working. So there's I don't know if you can see, it says lift here and lift there. So we just lift up on that and it will just disconnect from there. So now that it's out, you can actually see how clogged up this filter actually is. If the filter's clogged up like that for you pool owners out there, your vacuum definitely will not run. It will stop running, it will go very, very slowly. So I'm going to take a hose and hose this off. Okay, so I've cut the hose on, I drug the hose out here, and you should be able to see the difference once I start washing it off. You see how the difference in the cleanliness there, like the color difference, that shows you exactly how clogged this filter was. And yeah, that makes a difference since your vacuum is actually going to be a part of your filtration system. So I'm going to get this hose down and get it back in there. Okay, I've gotten the bleed valve closed here. I've got the bolt back on. I've got the plug back in the back there. Now, one of the things I don't like about this filter housing is that if you remember when I cut it off, the water came out. So what it does is basically, it's gonna, when I cut it back on, it's quite possibly gonna leak until the pressure balances out, and then it should seal. But these are really crappy. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna come over and we're gonna cut that on. And what we want to keep an eye on here is the pressure gauge. So yeah, we definitely want to keep an eye on that pressure gauge, okay? So here you go. The water pump is actually, what the hell's going on with this? I didn't even take this apart, but it is what it is. So if we look at the pool here, you see there's a bunch of air bubbles coming out of that pool. Yeah, because we inserted air into the line, obviously, when we open it up. So, and one of the things they're trying to vacuum out of here, out of this pool, is all, I don't know if you can see all these leaves in there. However, you know, you don't want to, you kind of want to get that out with a net if possible, or they do have a different option other than this vacuum option, because you could end up clogging the pool lines, which would not be good. So yeah, yeah, let's see if it's leaking. Okay, it's been raining here today, folks, so I think it initially leaked right down there. Maybe that's where it came out when I took it off, but I don't see any leaks. Again, I just know how to fix stuff, and I've been getting pool calls. Even though it's winter time, the pool system, the pool still has to be clean, because that pool does not have any covering on it. And so this filter in that pool is going to still have to be clean. I only mess with the filter. I could have, for added measure, cleaned that pump basket, but it's not too full of debris, and I don't want to have to charge extra. So yeah, we're gonna see. It seems to be holding there. It's very important too not to over tighten that when you put it back on, but we want to keep an eye out right now on the pressure. Now we see the pressure is rising there, but one of the things I didn't film when I first started is actually the pressure was up to the 30. I don't know if you can see, but it was above the red line up to the 30. That's where it was at when I started. And that tells me that there could be some kind of resistance in the line. Could be leaves, could be some kind of something in that line causing that added pressure. But I'm not here for that today. I'm here just to so the vacuum will function again. So as you can see, we're holding below the red right now. That may change here in a few minutes. I'm gonna come back in about 5 minutes. So I'm sitting here waiting right now, but I just want to say, like, since I'm not a pool guy, I'm slowly becoming one because I've done enough pools to know a lot by now.
don't charge what someone else may charge. I just kind of make up my own price. In a situation like this would be like a $75 fix. So that's a quick $75 in 30 minutes. And I'm counting the 5 minutes of wait time. I have to check on this pressure to make sure it's gonna equalize in there. There's not gonna be any leaks or anything. So yeah, let's keep waiting. So when I say I'm a guy that knows how to fix things, I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that if I show up and it's something I've never worked on before, I could probably figure it out and get it fixed for you. Now, what I'm saying, my $75 charge, I don't know if a pool company or somebody else would charge more than that or less than that. I have no idea, but for my time, because I'm quite busy, like very, very busy, that's what that's worth. So just to come out here and do this, it's worth $75 for you know, the 30 minutes it's taking. So let's go check out the pressure. If you look at the pressure reading right there, what you see is it's below the red line, which is good. The problem is fixed, but sometimes what happens is when you put a vacuum on there and the filter gets clogged, sometimes that pressure will build up higher. I don't know why the pressure was above the 30. It was probably like that first line above the 30 when I got here. Or the first line past the 30 when I got here. But yeah, it's definitely the first line past the 30 when I got here. But right now it's holding below the red, which is good. So yeah. Okay. Let's see here. It's time to call this good. And yeah, it's time to call it good and get out of here. That pump would definitely work now. I mean, that vacuum would definitely work now. So there's a lot to learn here. If you want to work on pools, you need to study up on some of the systems. I kind of just got thrown into it and figured it out myself. But yeah, should always read up, because these lines could look intimidating if you don't have a basic understanding, because you're gonna have different there's a little round thing over there where you know, the water comes through to go to the filter system, and obviously where I showed you earlier the vacuum was plugged up. Once you plug up that vacuum, it becomes part of the filter system, and if the filter's clogged, it won't work. But we're good to go now, so that one problem fixed.